Disclaimer. This video is created for entertainment and educational purposes only. The content shared may include opinions, commentary, or information that is not guaranteed to be accurate or complete. Always do your own research.
Welcome back to the High Zone, where the truth hit different, the reactions hit deeper, and the energy stay high. Today's episode, you know we got bangers. I ain't even gotta say it. Thank you for everybody who's been subscribing. It's been really picking up, and I really appreciate everybody. This is my first YouTube channel. I just started off. It was hard getting it off. I had to learn a lot. I had to learn a lot. And it's worth it because I get to communicate with a whole community, which is unbelievable. I really want to thank everybody who's really been watching these videos with me all the way to the end. So with that being said, like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell for every time we drop these videos, we get to watch them together. Let's jump into these videos. Let's go.
The scariest haunted doll in the world. United States. Annabelle. Australia. Letta. Japan. Okiku. Canada. Mandy the Doll. Brazil. Fafao. Singapore. Barbie doll on Pulau Ubin. Italy. Pupa, the haunted doll. United States. Robert the doll.
You would have think there's only Annabelle, right? Nah, there's more to Annabelle. There's a whole lot of Annabelles around the world. And you wonder how these dolls get possessed. They putting these demons in these dolls? What's going on with these? Are questions that needs to be answered. Comment down below what y'all think about all these dolls around the world that are possessed by a demonic spirit.
Yo, son, it's Colombo. They're coming to get me up. Just a second, come on, the thing sound like this. I swear to God it is. I swear it is. That's them. Look how they moving around and shit, they talking to us. I swear to God. Yo, look at that shit. Look at that shit. Look how slow they moving. It's almost over, y'all. Y'all see this shit right here on live in the fucking sky.
Y'all seen that? To me, that looked at like Vegeta. You know when Vegeta be glowing over the water, blue, 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 that when they got that aura on them when they floating, that looked at like Vegeta or Goku to me. From far. It's just my opinion. Comment down below what y'all think about that. Orb, human being. I hate to call them aliens. Comment down below what y'all think. Let's keep it moving.
1969. When televisions were still in black and white and folks were still using rotary fucking phones. And most new cars sold in the United States didn't even have power windows or fucking air conditioning. Then we just strapped two cowboys into what was essentially a fucking Coke can with a Chevy small block attached to it and just launched them motherfuckers out into orbit on nothing more than a hope and a fucking dream, and somehow managed to land that glorified bottle rocket safely on an uncharted lunar surface, where they then got out and played hopscotch for a few hours, and then they got right back inside that motherfucker, and then somehow managed to launch themselves back off the goddamn moon with no infrastructure. And then A few short weeks later, they landed safely back on Earth. You really fucking believe that happened? God damn, you're a gullible son of a bitch. I bet you still believe in fucking Santa Claus, you goofy bastard.
Some people will tell you the moon landing really happened. I mean, I don't know what world they live in, but they gonna get left behind. Let's keep it moving.
Ever since reading the book of Enoch, being in this ocean, baby, it is hitting different. I don't know. It's making me feel some kind of way, but I'm in the ocean trying to make y'all some really good content. So let's get into it. For those of you that are new, let's break down where sirens actually come from according to the apocryphal text, book of Enoch, that I read as history or lore, not scripture. Don't play with me. So basically, y'all know about when the fallen angels rebelled against God. We gonna get into some heavenly history. So the fallen angels rebelled against God. A third of the angels came down with Lucifer and rebelled against God, trying to be God, but obviously they lost. And 200 of those angels, called the Watchers, came down, right? And procreated with the daughters of man. Once Adam and Eve started having like different generations and daughters starting to be born, you can check this in Genesis. This part is biblical. Once daughters started to be born, the fallen angels saw them and wanted to mate with them, basically. Sounds a little bit like the Greek gods, doesn't it? Gods. Y'all, the Greek gods were basically fallen angels. The Egyptian gods, all of them were fallen angels. I have so many videos on it. Go ahead, check my page. But anyway, so now when they're on Earth and they start having offspring with immortal women, that came the Nephilim. This is where all the giants in the Bible derived from. Like, let's say Og of Bashan, Goliath and his brothers, the Amorites, like all of these giants that you see, it all started with Noah. Or not Noah, I'm sorry, the fallen angels in the days of Noah. While the fallen angels were on the earth, allegedly, according to the book of Enoch, they basically taught the earth heavenly knowledge that we were not supposed to know at all. Sorry it's so loud, y'all. Like, it's mad people around me. And yes, I'm wearing an outfit in the ocean. I didn't plan on getting in, but the water was just too nice. So basically, they taught humans how to put makeup on. They taught divination. That's where these horoscopes and the female divination comes from. Witchcraft in general was all started by the fallen angels. How to unalive someone in a single blow, a bunch of stuff, y'all. And when their offspring, the Nephilim, grew, they ended up becoming ravenous and actually cannibalistic. When they ended up eating all of Earth's resources, they turned on each other and started to consume each other. This is why God sent the flood. And also, according to the book of Enoch, this is not Bible, but allegedly, they were trying to create half animal, half man species, and that is where the Egyptian gods came from. Notice most of the Egyptian gods are half animal, half man. That's where they came from, because they presented themselves as gods, and that's why in the time of Moses, the Lord says you should not worship any other gods besides me, because he knew that these fallen angels were presenting themselves as gods, and that is who the Egyptians consulted with when they wanted their serpent, their staff, to become a serpent. Remember when God turned Moses' staff into a serpent and his serpent ate the Egyptian god's serpent? That's really the fallen angels using demonic powers to do that, but obviously they can never be God. But yeah, y'all, when the flood came, I always wondered, okay, what happened to the women? Where are the women? Like, did they just unalive? No. It says that they were actually cursed to the sea to become sirens, and that explains it, because I truly believe that most myths has some kind of truth to it. Why is it that sirens come up throughout history? Like, every single culture, you're gonna see sirens somewhere in their lore, because I feel like they're real, like, genuinely. And it's insane, because that opens up a whole new thing, like the demonic marine kingdom. And like, looking at this, guys, like looking up behind me, I knew it was so much more to fear about the ocean than sharks and whales and sea creatures, giant squids. Baby, that's nothing compared to what's really under there. That's why we have only discovered, like, what, 5% of the ocean? Because it's impossible. Like, in fact, I think they know more than what they let on, obviously, because that's why they're all over here like, oh, there's a presence in the ocean. The Congress said that, because there's so much more than meets the eye when it comes to this body of water, y'all. Looking at this, it's a whole different picture. But anyway, y'all, make sure you like, follow, comment down below what else you want to get into, because I can talk about this for hours.
Legends say the women who had babies with the Nephilims, they were actually cast into the ocean. Those are your mermaids. So they say. That's a deep rabbit hole. And we would never know until we meet one of them, right? And that's a whole different topic. Comment down below what you thought about that. I mean, the book of Enoch has a whole different type of knowledge in it that hits different. Yes, let's keep it moving.
Your children. Nice.
You have no idea what's happening in schools. I don't think most parents or even teachers realize how deep this goes. Since 2019, kids have been tracked the moment they log into their school devices. Their emotions, behavior, diagnosis, their race and gender, every click, every search is recorded and handed over to tech companies without your consent.
You know what I just thought about? This is going to be some trippy stuff. Remember when they said permanent record? This is this. What if they've been doing this all along? Yeah. What if this has been going on? Now it's just easy for them. Back then, they had to go manually. Somebody had to third party that shit. They had filing cabinets. Yeah. I've got a filing cabinet. That's for one person. It's big. Now, they're doing it to themselves. Not to mention, when you're 12, you're a young man, you discover women or men, whatever you're into. Next thing you know, you got some guy on the other side going, little Johnny just discovered sex. He's curious. Does he prefer men? Or does he prefer penis? No, he in fact likes women. He masturbates in the hall every third period. Okay, that's a little much. But my point is that's some trippy stuff. Nestor, you know what I'm talking about. Come on, you sick son of a bitch.
Hey.
I was a teacher for over 5 years. I resigned mid-year because I could not, in good conscience, remain in this system any longer. I have a master's in education, and I'm currently earning my PhD right now, and I'm telling you, this goes deep. Programs like HMH, Amplify, Dreambox,
Write this down. Teacher tells all. Remember that.
Panorama, Class Dojo, Success Ed, all of this Khan Academy, they're backed by billionaires like Gates, Bezos, Zuckerberg. You can literally Google this info. These are so much more than just education.
What if the whole joke on this is Google is running the school system? She goes, you could Google it. It's just going full circle. I'm just kidding. I'm just talking out of my ass here. But I wouldn't doubt it. And technically, I work for Google. That's fucked up.
Educational tools, they are surveillance systems collecting data on your children. Schools sign contracts as your child's parent under a loophole, a legal loophole. And tech companies are legally considered school officials. That means...
There we go. The Google thing didn't sound that nuts now, does it? And you know what's kind of crazy? I think that might be right, because technically, your kid has to be in school, at least in America. Whether you're homeschooling them or not, they have to be in school or it's illegal. It's kind of fucked up, dude. I hated school, man. I mean, I love Duck Duck Goose, Red Light, Green Light. Okay. You know, hanging out with the boys, summer camp, summer school. Hell, that was even fun. I did that for years. But my point is I fucking hated school. And I was forced to go. I remember asking my dad, like, do I have to go? He goes, unfortunately, yes. Because I know it's bullshit. He goes, I hated it too.
Means they can track and collect everything. This is not education anymore. It is data mining. It is manipulation and exploitation. And I refuse to stay silent. Protect your kids. Ask hard questions. The system is not broken. It was built this way. That's why it's still operating from the same factory model it was originally designed in during the Industrial Revolution. The system is not meant to nurture your children. It is meant to box them in, label them, silence them, and pump out obedient workers.
How industrial. That's some violent shit right there. That was a little nuts. We're just talking here, okay? We're just having the conversation. Can you talk more about the way this data is being used by companies and by the agendas behind it? I'm not exactly sure if any of this is real, but I do know one thing. They're tracking me. They're tracking you. They're definitely tracking Nestor's funky ass. Lord knows what he's doing in the middle of the night. Especially when he's working remote. Can't get a hold of him no how. I'm just kidding. Wait. Kindergartners on Chromebooks is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, this is something that's kind of nuts because I pushed back on the iPhone. When the iPhone came out, I was 18, and I didn't get it till I was 23. And I will say it has taken over my life. It really has. Like, seriously, it's taken over all of our lives. So I can only imagine getting a hold of this at 5 years old. Or 3. I think, but it might just be the new cyborg kids, you know. I mean, it's a bit alarming, I will say that. Hot take, but computers have no place in childhood education outside of the computer class. I could see high school. Yeah, we had computer class when I was in elementary, but it was, you know, 2 days a week for an hour, you know. I was glued on that motherfucker playing a little surf game. I don't know if you remember that, like Pixelated Surfer. I was like, yo, dude. I was like, battle out. Hold on, let me see. I think the iPad, though, is kind of crazy, dude. I don't know if I'd want my... I say that, but, like, if all the other kids have iPads, then all the other kids are going to want iPads. You know, you kind of... I think that's how most toys were bought, was kids nagging their parents to the point where they didn't want to hear it anymore and just bought them the toy. That's the iPad. I fully support no technology in schools, and yes, that means no cell phones, no technology. Our kids can't read or do simple math, but they know all the TikTok trends, and... Yeah, it's kind of scary, but to really break it down, though, it's almost like they're nothing more than a case study. I don't know what that's about. I don't know. Not to mention, we all know now, especially millennials, especially Gen Z, schools don't really teach us the actual essentials of life. It was important. I learned a lot in school. I really did. You know, up until 6th grade. After that, I said, I think I learned enough. It's a bit repetitive at this point, don't you think? Am I tripping?
No.
Okay, thank you. I don't know how people make it through college. I commend you for going. Nestor got a degree and everything. I'm like, wow. How did you do that? Okay, it's everybody saying the same thing, though. Get rid of the damn Chromebooks. But what if this lady, I'm going to end on this note. What if this lady is absolutely correct about this whole situation? What if this is going down? It's not far-fetched. It's not. It's not. They're definitely... You speak about lawnmowers, you're getting an ad for a lawnmower. We all know this. And sometimes I even think about something. Open my phone, it's fucking there, dude. I'm not kidding. Like, I'm not joking. And maybe I looked it up a week prior or something. Maybe I said it late yesterday or something, and it heard me. But my point is it seems like it's going there. It's reaching another echelons. I mean, Nestor, you got anything on this? Or are you good?
No, I agree completely.
Yeah, I just maybe she's on to something. Maybe she's not. You guys leave your thoughts.
They are handing these kids tablets at a very young age in school. When I was growing up, we had computer class once a week. Once a week, bro. And the technology was dry. I mean, dry. A floppy disk was like this big. For those watching that are young, a floppy disk is basically where you store your memory. Big old floppy disk with a little flimsy film in the middle. Trash. And these kids get handed tablets that can do a lot. Corrupt the mind even. But for the government to be, siphon the data of everything your kids do on that tablet, it's diabolical.
Yo, family, so what in the world is going on? So now we're going to have a rare black moon rise this weekend. It's going to be between August 22nd and 23rd, I think, something like that. But look at this. It says it happens every 33 months. What else is tied to the number 33? I don't know. Let's get into this. So when the number 33 comes to my mind, this is what I think of. There's also 33 vertebrae in the human spine. What is the significance with the number 33? Ask yourself, because there's a lot of things. Jesus died at 33. What is the significance with this 33? 3 and 3 is a 6. I'm just saying, this is for entertainment purposes only, but use your mind, people. So now, family, check this out. At precisely 2:06 a.m., Saturday, August 23rd, the moon will enter its new moon phase. Now, the moon is always entering its new phases every quarter or whatever it does, you know what I'm saying? But is it just me, or have you never heard of this black moon that's supposedly not going to be seen by the eye, and all this other weird stuff? Like, I know about eclipses and all this other stuff, but I've been around a long time, and I sure as heck don't remember a black moon happening every 33 months, or weeks, whatever it says. But do you guys remember this? Like, is this a Mandela effect or something? Are they playing with us? Are they opening portals? And Saturn is also going to be firing up around this time. So, what's going on? You guys, let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, share, and follow if you join the content, man. Join the family. I love you guys, man. Stay safe, stay dangerous, stay in the light.
I haven't been under no damn rock. Every 33 months, a black moon? When? Comment down below, chat. Comment down below, because this is, to me, it's cap. Comment down below if it's facts or cap.
They say homemade Haitian food is better.
Avec vision gourmande, ton meilleur ami haïtien.
Let's try it out. On a quoi sur le menu aujourd'hui?
On a du griot avec du riz jonjon, viande pesée, mac and cheese. Allergies?
No allergies. I have allergies to bad food. It's not reacting right now. Oh, the pickles is spicy. One of the best riz jonjons I've had. Immaculate.
You should try the griot, man.
Succulent. Cheers. Oh, wow. Oh my fuck.
I don't play with my griot, bro.
So tender. Wow. We got the juiciness, we got the flavor. The griot with the riz jonjon combination. That sauce, it just adds a whole different level of character to it. Flavors are bouncing all around my mouth.
Pause.
Do we do this?
Yeah, you can.
Well, I did it. Should I say it?
Say what?
Hands down the best griot, obviously from
Vision gourmand.
Oh, wow. The mac and cheese. Oh my god.
4 cheeses in there.
I can tell.
Oh, yeah. Edam, more Gouda.
Gouda. It's a very good.
Yeah, it's very good, very good. Cheddar cheese, aged cream cheese.
This is cheese on cheese on cheese. A bit too strong on my palate for the cheese. The griot, a nice ratio.
I took the shoulder. You kind of escape the fact.
Du gras. My only next stop for Haitian food is in Haiti. Sac fat, ma boulette. For me, this griot platter is a 9.9 out of 10. I'll give some room of 0.1 to go to Haiti. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid 9.8 out of 10. It reminded me a lot of my childhood.
Vanilla beans lemonade.
No regular lemonade. Refreshing.
So,
I got a brain freeze, hold on. Every eats possible, certified. So you don't sell this, huh?
if you want it pop-up, show some love in the comments, bro.
We'll plan.
That food looked amazing. If you know, you know.
When I found out that Bad Bunny's fighting for Puerto Rico to get its independence from the United States of America, it blew my mind. Benito, what are you doing to your people? My people, Dominicans, are getting on a banana boat as we speak, trying to make it to Puerto Rico because it's the closest thing to the state. Do you not?
Yet Haitians are doing the same thing, trying to make their way over to the Dominican Republic, and you people keep kicking them out. They don't like when I talk about topics like these, but I have to do it. Just because Dominicans like you live in the United States and love your life in the United States doesn't mean you represent Dominicans in actual Dominican Republic. I'm already always in the hot seat when it comes to defending my Haitian brothers and sisters, but it's like I gotta hold a mirror to you guys as well. Benito wants a sovereign Puerto Rico so that we can live on for generations. The reality is, not every Latino wants to live in the United States. You keep feeding into the USA propaganda that every Latino wants to move to the United States. Meanwhile, it's often overlooked that the United States destabilizes every country in Latin America. But what also makes it worse is that when you have Republican Puerto Ricans trying to defend statehood for Puerto Rico, I'm not doing this with y'all. I know I've been out the game for a while. I've been on tour, but that's it. We're coming back, and I'm coming back with the fire because I'm not dealing with this no more. Every other Latino, oh, but USA is the savior. Oh, but USA is perfect. USA has everything. Shut the hell up. You don't know my history. I don't know yours. You stay in your lane. I stay in mine. Okay? I'm done.
You can't kick somebody out your country that's looking for help. You go to somebody else's country. They doing the same thing to you doing to the other people. Come on, bro. Make it make sense.
So y'all, on the Spanish network, they are playing this video that is actually going viral and what to do in case you start hearing the trumpets. You know, like the end time trumpets, y'all. And I got the video and I translated to English, but listen to what they have to say, y'all. Check this out.
Should you do if you hear the trumpets? Don't go out. Lock doors and windows securely. Don't look up. Don't try to record the sound or share it on social media. The signal has already been detected by international systems, and it doesn't come from any human or meteorological source. The sound has been recorded at multiple frequencies simultaneously, and its unique pattern fails to match any known type of musical instrument. If you're among the first to hear it, make sure to stay away from other people as soon as possible. Please do not engage in conversation with anyone who claims to have fully understood the message. If nonsensical phrases begin to repeat softly or in sync throughout the tranquil nighttime hours, please ensure that you leave immediately. Don't follow those who move toward the sound's origin. They no longer respond. If your house starts to tremble slightly or if the lights suddenly begin to dim, please locate a place without windows and maintain complete silence during your stay there. Don't respond to any external calls, even if you recognize the voice, especially if it comes from above.
Hold on, y'all. It sounds exactly what that movie Bird Box been telling us. Like whenever they open up their eyes and look at the sky, they start to go crazy. Y'all see the eyes? Y'all see the eyes, right? It's in the eyes. So yeah, man, that video's going viral on the Spanish network, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. But what do you guys think, man? We must be close to something because there's a lot of energies within the air. But yeah, y'all, let me know down in the comments below, y'all. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. Let's continue to get this shift. Peace in.
I believe the last one I posted was the Spanish version. This was the English version. What? If they hear the sound, don't tell nobody. All these codes, little secret codes, and pieces. Everything is being let out in pieces. Lock your doors. If you hear people on the roof, don't open. What if, you know that special shrimp juice they gave everybody? That shrimp juice that everybody took, the shrimp juice? What if the shrimp juice got something in it and it let off frequencies and under the sea shrimp juice? Yeah, let's keep it moving on that one. Yeah.
Guys, this is me filming. This is not Photoshop. Wow. I wish I had a better phone right now. Unbelievable. First time in my life I see something like this. And there's small ones flying around.
Thing. I ain't never seen one of those in my life. And if I did, I won't be that close. Nope. If it was coming towards my car, I'm skedaddling. Bruh, imagine you automatically bake. Try and get some clout. Try and get some views. Nah, not me. Nope.
Why nobody talks about this sound shit that goes on in Williamsburg, Brooklyn? Like, I feel like the British are coming. Why nobody talks about this?
Yo, she said she feel like the British is coming. That was wild. That was crazy work.
Yo, you see that?
Ooh. Y'all peep that?
Let's just fly around in circles for a second.
They must have got some permission and landed there. I mean, is that a part where they could land? Because we can't go to the Grand Canyon. Especially, as you can tell, where they was at. Amazing. I'd love to go to the Grand Canyon. What about you? Comment down below.
There is so much off-limit zones in the Grand Canyon, including drones. And there is a very important reason for that. If you ask Google why so much of the Grand Canyon's off-limits, they'll give you a nice laundry list of generic answers. Cultural heritage sites, too dangerous for the general public, etc., etc. But it's not just on the ground that they restrict. So much of the Grand Canyon's off-limits, including by air travel and specifically drones. Just look at this National Park Service map itself. All the pink areas and the blue areas are all off-limits or restricted flight areas. And the yellow is restricted to anything below 18,000 feet. You see, if we had too many drones flying around, too many low-flying aircrafts, one of the reasons they got rid of airships as well, they would start having people ask way too many questions. The mining operations that clearly went on there, the ancient ruins that clearly are still there, melted and buried beneath the surface. Before heavily restricting the Grand Canyon, many articles like this from 1909 popped up. And many explorers like John Wesley Powell came forward saying they found Egyptian artifacts deep in the canyon. To protect the narrative, the parasites had to restrict access, much like many other great sites around the world. But with high-powered zoom on cameras becoming more and more of a thing, people are seeing glimpses of a past that they would like buried. Take a look at this video from some recent visitor of the Grand Canyon. Now this looks like, to me, clear as day, another one of those covered up and buried red bricked archways. Of course, the government says for your safety, you can never go over to that area or even fly a drone into that area to get a closer look. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
Questioning everything is not a bad thing. Ain't no such thing as a stupid question. Let's keep it moving.
About the Grand Canyon's greatest and darkest conspiracy. They hide that conspiracy in plain sight. It's rife with Egyptian artifacts and geology. Where is the evidence for such outlandish claims, you may ask? The National Park took a page out of Egyptian mythology when they named the formations. After a short little hike from the North Rim, you can catch a glimpse of Juno Temple, Jupiter Temple, Apollo Temple, and Osiris's Temple. Would I find evidence myself of such outrageous claims? The true story of a civilization now lost. The artifacts that they found at the Grand Canyon had an Egyptian origin. They found shrines, they found mummies, they found gold, they found temples. This information has been suppressed by the Smithsonian. What exactly are they hiding? It doesn't stop there either. 1920s, when the Grand Canyon was going to go from a monument to a national park, President Harding went on a voyage of understanding trip to try and understand what exactly was going on at these national parks. He couldn't quite understand. It was on this very trip that he died. His illness was treated with arsenic. Was he treated or poisoned or assassinated for trying to understand what was the Grand Canyon and its Egyptian artifacts? As I was getting to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, I felt like I was getting closer to the bottom of solving this riddle of what the Grand Canyon really was. There must be some Egyptian mythology hidden in the no-fly zones on the map. There are so many places in the Grand Canyon that are banned to the public or you can't even go to. If you veer off course, the authorities will come and get you. And there's even places in the Grand Canyon that's forbidden to drink water from. The forbidden fountain of youth, or to taste the tree of knowledge. It was in the 1920s. The government coincidentally decided they wanted to survey the Colorado River and the Grand Canyon. And coincidentally, on this infamous boating expedition, President Harding passed away, and they named a rapid after him to send a signal they would control the narrative of the Grand Canyon. There are far too many coincidences for the Grand Canyon and what happened in the 1920s when they covered it up. Egyptian artifacts and temples? Could these all just be theories? Just conspiracies? Maybe the Grand Canyon is just what it is. A great, grand, beautiful place.
Grand Canyon might be the final puzzle that needs to be put together. Nobody can go to the Grand Canyon. Nobody can go to Antarctica. Grand Canyon might be our Antarctica. Am I reaching? Even in Australia, bro, they got a part of Australia that's locked off. What if Australia, Antarctica is Australia Grand Canyon, and our Grand Canyon in America is Grand Canyon? Grand Canyon is the real Egypt. Everybody know.
So why was 10-year-old Kai Cenat hanging out with Lil Nas X years ago? All of these TikToks are popping up, going extremely viral. Industry plant confirmed. A 2014 photo has resurfaced of Kai Cenat casually hanging out with Lil Nas X. How could that be possible? If you look back, Kai Cenat, remember when he was in his room with this like rat running around? Like, he obviously was not hanging out with known celebrities like Lil Nas X. So how did he have that connection? The first comment: once you've seen Kevin Hart in his room, that should have told you. Basically talking about the streams of Drewski and Kevin Hart when they were all collaborating. The fact that he was able to get Kevin Hart even though he's just a streamer. People are saying that kind of ties in some connections. I told people nothing is organic in the entertainment business. I agree, but I felt like with streamers it was organic. Seeing stuff like this, it starts to tell you, bro. Like, I can't believe Kai Cenat was in the industry. Unbelievable. I can't. Some people are saying he looks like Diddy's son. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? But also, some people are defending Kai, saying they just hate to see black men win, which I do agree. Some people just want to call him out for no reason. I think y'all should look more into this and just let me know your opinion of this.
Why y'all hating on that man? I mean, for real though. He built this platform by himself. Why y'all hating on him, bro? Lil Nas X wasn't even famous back in those days. How y'all? What? I mean, the internet is wild. The wild, wild west.
Higher. Tone. Oh, inspired by the structure and tone of rainy nights.
Don't forget to look up. I need one ASAP. I need one. The sun is too damn hot. The weather got people going bananas. Go cool down, drink a beer. No, don't drink no damn beer. Have a glass of the coldest water you can find. Cool down, slow it down.
Take a look at what I got, y'all. New World Jewelry, 1493 to 1825. Guess how much this book is? Bow, 3,000. I wonder what they're hiding in here. I'm about to figure it out. This man right here, Edwin Babbitt, gained superpowers by locking himself in a room for several weeks at a time. He locked himself in complete darkness for a few weeks, and this is what happened. Once he left the room, he developed heightened visual sensitivity. He could literally see the energy fields around people's bodies, aka auras. A lot of people at the time, though, just laughed at him and dismissed his idea because they thought he was hallucinating. But Edwin was also a talented artist. Had it not been for his ability to be able to draw what he saw so accurately, scientists would have dismissed his claims. See, what Edwin had discovered with pure intuition and deprivation of his senses, what we now call magnetoencephalography, which are magnetic fields around your head that the brain produces. It seems like until you come up with a long-ass word like this, or a machine that looks like this, prove what spirituality and mystics have been talking about for thousands of years, mainstream science would just not accept it. I'm an electric and I'll DM you my spiritual guide.
Once again, protect your aura. Protect your aura.
Let me find out this was one of my students casting fireballs and blowing up random vehicles, and you're getting in trouble. F minus. This is not what we use our powers for. Do you hear me? No.
And the driver calls back trying to buy him. Yeah, watch this video.
Okay. Calling you from my kid's phone. Hello? Maybe the child. Did you just buy child, yeah? You picked up my child. Why are you calling me from his phone? I want to buy a child. I see my marketplace. Maybe this is your stuff. Please put it in.
Imagine putting your kid in an Uber and the driver calls back trying to buy him. Yeah, watch this video.
Okay. Calling you from my kid's phone. Hello? Maybe the child. Did you just buy child, yeah? You picked up my child. Why are you calling me from his phone? I want to buy a child. I see my marketplace. Maybe this is your stuff. Please put it in. Can you come back?
And she's calling from a kid's phone.
Sorry. I don't understand. Come back to the location that you picked him up on. Oh my God.
And the video just cuts off, so I'm not too sure on what happened after. But yeah, crazy situation.
As a parent, who puts a child in an Uber by themselves? That is diabolical by itself. Why would you put a child in an Uber by himself? You must be living under a rock if you ask me. You must not know what's going on in the world today to put a child in an Uber by themselves. Make it make sense.
This woman may be a witch after she apparently did a spell on the weather. Watch this.
Cool.
I don't know exactly what she's saying.
Yeah, cool.
But there's no way that was a coincidence. Like I said, this is either the biggest coincidence in this town that she's in, or this woman's a witch. As always, let me know what you think in the comments. Stay weird.
That was plasma. This lady just summoned plasma out her window. That was insane because that was purple. Lightning and plasma is two different things. That was plasma. Hitting something right across the street from her. Comment down below if you believe in that clip or not. Comment down below, spam it up.
The CIA ran a bunch of experiments and research on marine mammal consciousness and its potential for human connection right before they made it illegal to deliberately communicate with any kind of marine mammal life under the MMPA. And this is because the CIA is hiding the fact that there are aliens out in the ocean, and the dolphins that aren't able to be brainwashed the same way that humans are would definitely expose this secret to us. Who said that?
She dropped a lot of bars real quick in that clip. Pay attention.
This island quite literally is a sleeping petrified giant. This is undeniable. If you think that this is a simple rock formation, you are out of your mind. The Bible told us about the Nephilim and the giants that used to roam this earth. All of our ancestors told us this as well, and the evidence couldn't be any more clear. Peace and love.
These are two people.
I agree.
These are two peoples, two separate instances at the beginning of the conquest of Haiti that rebelled. Now you kind of understand why that rebellious spirit is always so fearfully quenched and quelled and stepped on in Haiti, because it's not a one-time thing. It's something that continually happened. It's happened over and over again. And once again, this is why they cripple them economically and they cripple us economically, and they keep a wheel on our neck. But now is the time for us to learn and reread our history so we can learn where we were wrong as a people, and we can make better decisions in the future to have better results. Another instance, after we'll call it the Arawak Chronicles, what happened in the past, or the Taino Chronicles. After they enslaved pretty much everyone in Haiti, they sent about 2,000 slaves back to Spain. They were sending slaves back and forth from America to all over the place, to Africa, to Spain, to different parts of America. It was crazy. They rounded up a whole bunch of indigenous Arawak slaves over in Central America, and they shipped them over to Haiti to work. They also grabbed a great many slaves. Some say they cleared the island of Nassau of all the inhabitants to bring them to work in Haiti. They would tell you that all these people died, but my question is, where are all the mass graves for these people? You know, and a lot of these descriptions of these people, they were described to be black a lot of the cases. A lot of people argue that they weren't, but they were. It is what it is. A lot of time, these people were described as black. There were black people witnessed in Haiti. So right off the bat, that tells you the regular history that you're given, you're lied to about, and that you are tied to these very lands. That's why they lied to you about it in the first place. But once again, do not take my word for it. Look up my reference. Another great book to get into is Of Cannibals and Kings, Primal Anthropology in the Americas. That's an excellent book. It has a great many articles on the history of Haiti and the indigenous history of Haiti. And one of the very ones I found very interesting was one on the zombie ceremony. Any Haitian can tell you what a zombie is. It's basically a reanimated slave for a voodoo priest, using herbs and different wildlife and different extracts and different botanical things to bring about certain processes in the body. Now, what I found interesting is all my life I've been told from mostly non-Haitian sources, to be honest with you, and some Haitian sources too, that it's actually an African procedure, but I've never really met any Africans who told me that. And also when I read in this book, Of Cannibals and Kings, Primal Anthropology in the Americas, I read an account taken by the explorer Payne of his time in Haiti and with some Indians, non-African Indians in Haiti. And what they did was one of a family member of this indigenous family had died. And I guess he was under the charge of one of their doctors to see that he lives due through diet and so on. And what they did was they took the body to one of their witch doctors to perform a procedure where the witch doctor mixed some herbs and some oils together, much of which was not said what it was in the book, but I have an idea what it was. But they mixed it all together, cut some of the hair off the head of the deceased corpse and mixed it together, and they blew the concoction inside of the dead body's nose. Once again, you can look this up for yourself. This is not something I'm making up. I gave you the book reference. And when they did this, the corpse started talking as if it was alive, according to Payne, their explorer. This is why it's important for people to read, so they can see some of the other things these explorers claim that they saw. This is not stuff people are making up. Now, they blew this concoction in the nose of this corpse, and the corpse started talking. And the corpse related to the family and the priest that the doctor that was in his charge did not prescribe him the proper diet and the proper medication. If this was done by the corpse, then the family would seek vengeance by basically stabbing the accused doctor in the genitals till they died. But this was an account in this book of Cannibals and Kings, Primal Anthropology in the Americas. Look it up. Now, I'm going to go into more modern Haitian revolution stuff that more people are used to. And I'm going to talk about some of the locations. One of the fellows to kick off the Haitian Revolution, his name was Duty Bookman. He was actually a Jamaican slave who was shipped to Haiti. He was a well-read slave. He was one of those slaves who knew how to read. That's why they couldn't keep him on one island for so long. He would eventually, once you know how to read and once you know how to learn, it makes you unfit to work for anybody. It makes you unfit to be a slave. And he went to a priest one day, a Catholic priest, and he asked, priest, why am I a slave? And the priest told him, because God demanded so. That was one of the biggest mistakes the priest could make. Because Duty Bookman got a whole bunch of Haitians together and he went to what was called Bois Caïma. Bois Caïma, Caïma is a Haitian word. It's actually an indigenous Haitian word that means alligator. And it's what kicked off a lot of the Haitian Revolution in Bois Caïma. They got together, a whole bunch of slaves, a whole bunch of free people of color, a whole bunch of different types of colored people got together in Bois Caïma and they made a blood pact that they would fight for their freedom. And they lived it through. Bookman's claim to fame was he was poisoning the water a lot of the French were drinking from, and he'd warned the slaves. But as with any revolution, you're always going to have people who are going to sell you out. So, but he was eventually caught because he was snitched on, and they made an example of him by Duty Bookman. But this didn't quell the thirst for freedom in Haiti, because too many people were tired of working all the time. And the spirit to be free is just strong among Black people in general. We just can't be held down for too long. What happened next was Toussaint L'Ouverture took up the mantle. Toussaint had a better upbringing than most Black people in Haiti. Toussaint was well-spoken, he was well-read. A lot of these people will try to make you think a lot of these Haitian revolutionaries were all slaves. A lot of them were very well-educated, very well-off people. They just didn't tolerate slavery because it was happening to their people. Toussaint L'Ouverture was one such person. He was actually raised among whites, so he had a softer spot for whites than a lot of the other revolutionaries did. And that eventually led to his downfall, where he saw that the island of Saint-Domingue or Haiti could be a hub for all types of people to live together and trade and build something really special. The French just didn't see it that way. And while he was fighting them for his freedom, his military tactics were impeccable. They had to resort to deceit to capture him. They actually captured him under the pretext of him going to a peace treaty talk. And it was going to be no arms there or nothing. And he fell for it. He went there and they captured him. And they basically threw him in a dungeon in France until he died. Now, this is one of the case of France killing the devil they know for the devil they don't. Who came after Toussaint was a fellow by the name of Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Jean-Jacques Dessalines was the opposite. Where Toussaint L'Ouverture was Martin Luther King, Jean-Jacques Dessalines was Malcolm X's core. There's always that dichotomy in most Black people's history. I don't know why, it just happens that way. But Jean-Jacques Dessalines was a gruff man, he was a tough man, he was not a docile man. He had tasted the slings of slavery in his youth and actually worked his way into freedom. So when he got the reins of leadership after Toussaint L'Ouverture, he was convinced that France would not let go of the island unless they had absolutely no interest on the island. So upon coming to this realization, he made all Haitians take a pact, whether you're mixed, whether you're Black, to basically rid the island of all white people. And this is not just something he did because he didn't like white people. It was a very bloody, a very drawn out, a very cruel history between the two people. There was a lot of death. There was a lot of death of a lot of Black people, white people. It's not something he just came up with. I know how people like to paint that picture, but that's what he did. And it was a very hard thing for the people on the island, especially if they were mixed, because there was a lot of upper class mulatto people who had white mothers, who had white fathers, who had white aunts and uncles who were asked to do such things. And that's a very hard thing. A lot of them couldn't do it. A lot of them helped their people leave to Louisiana and other places to escape the bloodshed. but a lot of people did do it. But either way was kind of Jean-Jacques Dessalines' way of bringing all these people together. Even though it doesn't work that way, blood always calls for blood. That's why blood should always be a last resort. I'll put it that way. Blood always calls for blood. And eventually, through uneasy power conflicts and uneasy power struggles, after he came to emperor rulership and defeated the French, he was betrayed by his own lieutenants in the indigenous army. By the way, the Haitian army was called the indigenous army, not the African army, not the Haitian army, but the indigenous army. That tells you who they were. But he was then murdered, and then power kind of switched hands in Haiti for a time back and forth. But that's as much as I'm willing to share on the history of Haiti. I'm only sharing this to encourage more people, especially African Americans. Your history is more covered up than anyone else's history. I'm encouraging you all to look into our history was covered up, and you've seen how crazy that shit is. I'm curious to see what true African American history is, and I can't really look that up. While I'm black and technically I am African American, I'm not native born to North America. That's your job, and I personally want to hear that story. Thank you for letting me share, and thank you for listening.
These are stories that was ripped out of your history book. These are stories some people are scared to post. These are stories some people scared to talk about. These are stories some people are scared to share. Not at the high zone. We need to remember that's part of growth. That's part of moving on. We need to know our story. Because everybody has a story. And I'm a firm believer of that. Comment down below. And it's history. Not just a story. It's history. Comment down below what y'all think.
A massive underground structure that is 4 times the size of the Egyptian pyramids that is protected by the military in Alaska. On May 27, 2020, Nathan Campbell was dropped off in one of the most remote parts of the world, Denali National Park. He was there to embark on a mission to find the Black Pyramid. The Black Pyramid is a legendary underground structure rumored to be massive and ancient, at least thousands, if not millions of years old. But he unfortunately went missing, never to be seen again. The Black Pyramid is part of a broader set of theories about secret military installations in Alaska, like HARP. The pyramid allegedly disrupts electromagnetic fields and is strategically positioned for global military advantage. Reports of its existence gain attention from an anonymous naval captain. The retired captain called into Coast to Coast and stated that during the 80s, he worked on a top secret radar installation in Alaska. He noticed a mysterious, highly powerful electromagnetic source disrupting his base's aircraft and communication for years. Suspicions of this pyramid were validated when, in 1992, scientists studying shockwaves from a Chinese underground nuclear test recorded a grainy pyramid-shaped spot of interference 700 feet below the surface of interior Alaska. No one knows if Campbell truly believed in the pyramid. During the search, they found some of his gear, but no sign of
700 feet underground. That's a new one for me. Like I said, I had to jump down that rabbit hole, see what I can pull. It's not even that much videos on it. That's how secret it is.
But I just know, as a person that makes movies and uses his imagination, and also as a person that is insatiably curious about UFOs or UAPs,
yes,
that there's something going on that we're really not being made that's not being disclosed to us.
Well, senators who have been briefed on this, and I don't mean just these latest balloon-ish incidents, senators who've been briefed on this have said there are things the American people deserve to know, and the quote I love is, and they're ready to learn. And that says to me that there's something sort of paradigm shattering about this news that we're not being told.
You know, the most optimistic thing I feel about these things that we're seeing in the skies are the Army and Navy and Air Force are recording on their gun cameras, is that what if they're not from an advanced civilization 300 million light years from here, but what if it's us 500,000 years into the future that is coming back to document the second half of the 20th century and into the first 20th century because they're anthropologists and they know something that we don't quite know yet that has occurred, and they're trying to track the last 100 years of our history.
Well, the hopeful part about that to me is that we survive.
Yes, that we survive, or a certain percentage of us survive that allows these other generations to flourish.
Okay, if there are aliens,
That was the key code right there. A certain amount of them survive so the rest can flourish in the future. I'm guessing that's why they building the bunkers. I mean, who can survive, you know, if something was to happen? You have to be underground. Let's keep watching.
The last 100 years of our history.
well, the hopeful part about that to me is that we survive.
Yes, that we survive, or a certain percentage of us survive that allows these other generations to flourish.
Okay, if there are aliens, is your bet on E.T. or War of the Worlds?
E.T.
Your bet is on E.T.
Oh, yeah. War of the Worlds was just sort of a reflection of 9/11. It was my way of making a story about the impact that 9/11 had on all of us. I believe that if any extraterrestrial civilization has journeyed all the way here, it's because of curiosity and science, and it's not about aggression.
Because if they can get here, they don't need our resources. They must have enormous resources already.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact they've been this patient with us and haven't turned the Earth into a burned out cinder is extraordinary. That they've had that. If there is anything happening, you have to applaud them for their patience. I think what has been coming out recently is fascinating, just absolutely fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the secrecy that is shrouding all of these sightings and the lack of transparency until Freedom of Information Act compels certain materials to be released publicly, I think that there is something going on that simply needs extraordinary, due diligence. I mean, I would like to hear more about it. I don't know what they are. My imagination and my love for, I don't believe we're alone in the universe. I think it's mathematically impossible that we are the only, intelligent species in the cosmos. I think that's totally impossible. At the same time, it almost seems impossible that anybody would visit us from 400 million light years from here, except in the movies, unless it figures out some way of, basically jumping the shark, so to speak, and getting here through wormholes or so I'm not a astrophysicist. I really can't speak the language of the people that do it so well out at JP.
Let's not forget Steven Spielberg worked with the president to create the movie E.T. Because the movie E.T. was actually a real story. Do your own research. Don't take my word for it.
What in tarnations is going on? How are Simpsons doing this? How? It's the same number football shirt. Number 17. I mean, I know the world is a script and everyone's got a role to play, but how? These so-called predictions only affect NPCs, non-playable characters. The world is a stage and they follow their script and we follow God's script. So what does this really teach us? This teaches us that this is like the Truman Show. Some of the people that are around us are just actors, playing a part, playing a script. The Simpsons was a TV show that's been on telly since 1982. And every now and then they will show a certain episode that seems to play out in the future, right in front of our eyes. The only way that is possible is by the environment that we're in, the people that we're around. It's all scripted. It's like a movie. They've got their script. You better follow God's script. So the next prediction that they're saying is that aliens are gonna come down and start burning things up, brother. I don't know about that. I think that's only gonna affect the NPCs. For people like me and you, I think we're gonna be good, brother.
The Simpsons is always on top of everything that's happening. Really though, they always on top of everything that's happening. And shout out to the bully, man. He's back. And I appreciate the bully coming back. Whatever he was going through, I hope he's over it and he's back in motion. Shout out to the bully.
Paul with the word, and this is what happened.
How did you even find us?
I told you I was here with last week's meeting.
No, you were not.
No, you
I
were
would have
not.
remembered.
I was here.
Shut up.
I got the Bible and everything. Like, I learned everything for you guys.
Why are you calling yourself the big black beast then?
Because I am. You don't see a big black beast in front of you?
You're no mouse
All I'm
hard.
saying is, in Luke chapter 10 verse 18, I watched Satan fall from heaven like lightning. Y'all boss is cooked. Your boss is done. I don't know why y'all trying to summon him back. Your life needs to be changed.
Just
That's
kick
honestly
this
the
guy.
truth.
Oh my
Don't
God.
You're not about to kick me out like how my father
Shut
kicked me out.
up.
No.
Is this what usually goes on around here?
Your God can't even hear you. He's down in the
not.
depths. I need to change your life. That's what y'all need to do.
I actually have my Bible app right here.
No, get that shit out of here. Get out.
Again with the Bible
every day?
app? Are you
Get that
serious?
out
You're
of
praising the wrong God.
You're sending him away. He was so close to coming to us.
Ain't nobody was close to coming nothing.
I love how he said your boss is cooked. Like, he is under your feet. Okay? Let's not forget that. Sometimes I feel like God sends us into the fire just to help get one person. And that young man in that Zoom call, he literally seemed like he was seeking. He had the Bible app on his phone, like not sure if he's in the right place. And I hope that that planted a seed of assurance in him to follow Jesus and not Satan. If you love Christian content like this, follow and subscribe for more.
The beast just saved his life. Your boss is cooked.
Are meteors really what they've been telling us they are? I found an awful weird video of a meteor acting very strange, but first, we just had yet another green comet going over Japan. But after watching the footage, it's just weird because these things change colors when they feel like it. So watch this real quick and tell me if you notice anything. I'm gonna slow it down in a second. Did you notice how it's continually flashing behind the cloud? Slow motion. And of course, there's much more than just meteors. There are these sprites that just happened over Spain. But let's come right back to these sprites. Alright, so we just saw how they can change brightness whenever they want, as many times as they want, right? But look at this right here. Pretty odd, as it's really, really slow. The camera's not slowed down, and just gets really quick out of nowhere, isn't it? It's crazy. So let me get this straight. They can brighten and darken as they want to, not as they're just entering the atmosphere. And they can change speed at will. They can go real slow, then all of a sudden just take over the whole sky. It's not the perspective. This thing clearly was not moving, and it wasn't bright, and all of a sudden it brightened up and went really fast. I just find it extremely odd because in the Wisdom of Solomon, it talks about how falling stars are quite literally demons that cannot hold on anymore. But that's not all that happens in the sky like you see behind me. You know, sprites used in video games is a different representation of the dimension of that character. I wonder if it's the same thing for sprites in the sky, maybe a different representation of a certain spiritual character. Everything they've taught us is a lie, so you really have to wonder, like what all is above our head being covered up by SpaceX? What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments.
What if I told you they were extracting melanin from human skin over 100 years ago?
We just have to look up at this point. So many things are happening in the sky at once. You just have to pay attention. Don't make nothing out of it. Just pay attention. Pay attention to your surroundings. That's it at this point. Let's keep it moving.
And this ain't no rumor. It's a fact. A biochemist named William J. Young published papers on it. You see it? He literally showed and detailed how to take melanin out the skin. I have a snippet of William J. Young's research in this video, The Extraction of Melanin from Skin with Dilute Alkali by William J. Young, the Australian Institute of Tropical Medicine in Townsville, Queensland. And this was written in 1920. So here's the real question. Here's the question that got me interested in going down this rabbit hole in the first place. Why do they care about the melanin so much? But I figured it out. And I'll tell you why it matters so much. But not just that. I'll tell you why it matters so much today in this age, especially in the age of artificial intelligence. So let's backtrack. In 1914, William J. Young wrote about studying melanin in the human skin. In 1921, he described exactly how to extract it. That means scientists have been working with human melanin for over a century. Before the internet, before the cell phone, before all these modern day technologies, they were extracting melanin. They weren't doing this for fun. They knew it had value. They just never told the public the whole story. So instead, they reduced conversations about melanin to, oh, it just makes your skin darker. Well, that's like saying gold is just a yellow rock. So when they talk about melanin, they strip it of its deeper meaning. They try to just keep it surface level, as if melanin is just about skin color. But it's really about so much more. In the 1970s, scientists finally discovered that melanin is not just about color. It acts like a natural battery. It can absorb energy from light, it can store it, and it can use it for later. So think about that. Melanin takes in sunlight, takes in sound, takes in vibration, and it does something with it. That means it kind of works like a technology. It's alive with function. And that's why there are now patents on using melanin for things like batteries, solar panels, medical implants, sensors. They know that melanin does what electronics struggle to do, especially inside the human body. So how does all this tie into artificial intelligence? Right now, AI runs on silicone chips. It's powerful, but it's limited. It's fast, but it doesn't think like us. The human brain is different. It doesn't just run on electricity. It also uses chemistry. It learns, it adapts, it remembers in ways that these machines can't. Here's the kicker. Melanin can move both electricity and chemistry. That makes it a bridge material. It speaks the language of the brain, but also the language of machines. So if you are a corporation, or if you're the government trying to figure out how to make AI more lifelike, melanin would be the best way to do it. In fact, melanin will be the only way to do it. It's the resource that can push these machines into real consciousness. This isn't the first time power structures have tried to exploit resources from gold and diamonds to labor and culture. They always take, monetize, and control. Now, with AI, the frontier isn't just in the ground. It's in us. It's the melanin. And notice who carries the highest concentration of it. Notice who they've historically experimented on. Notice who's most vulnerable when people start disappearing. This isn't paranoia. This is a pattern. So let's be clear. William J. Young proved that melanin can be extracted from human skin over a century ago. Modern science shows that melanin acts like a battery and a brain-like material. And today, with AI hitting a wall, that same melanin looks like the bridge that they need to continue on. They're not just after the resources in the earth. They're after the resources in us. So please, do your research. Learn about the melanin extraction. Learn about these AI facilities. Learn about these data centers. Learn about how people are going missing around these data centers. Learn more about how they have been extracting melanin from humans, plants, and animals for a very long time. And they use what's in us to make their spaceships, their weapons, their armor, and soon their artificial intelligence. Because the thing is, if we know better, we can do better. And maybe we can stop this thing. But in the meantime, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment. Tell me what you think about this melanin extraction. Do you have any more information about this melanin extraction? Leave it in the comments. Make sure you click the link in my bio to check out my books. I got 2 books, Dying to Live, Surviving the Global Burnout Crisis, and the Toxic World of Self-Help. I also have another book called The Human Paradox. It's the esoteric writings of a neurodivergent melanated man. I have a paper book and ebooks available. Make sure you click the link in bio. And until next time, I'll holler at y'all. Peace.
How do y'all feel about melanin extraction? I know they use gold for the chips in your computer. Any electronic use gold. They even use platinum. So using melanin is not far-fetched at all. Comment down below what y'all think about melanin extraction. Facts or fake?
Did you hear about the woman from
Texas who went missing. And when they finally tracked her down, they found her in Scotland worshiping a fat man who got her living in a tent. Cora Taylor from Texas was reported missing by her family, and they had no idea where she was until they heard the news that a woman named Lady Safi, who was a member of a lost African tribe living in the forest in Scotland, was actually their missing family member. After they found her, they asked her about her status as a missing person, and she said, "Leave me alone. I'm an adult, not a helpless child." But honey, you do need help, because look what happened to you. You living in a tent. Not only are you living in a tent, you're living in a tent in the forest with a fat man and his wife, and he's making you call him king?
I'm also the bondwoman of the king, which means I do not have the formal title of a wife, but he is my husband. And we are a tribe.
I don't care what he told you. You are a side chick, Cora. This man told her that he was a descendant of the Messiah, and she bowed down to him. This heavyweight got her offering him tributes of soda and cookies. And you bowing down to this man? This lost tribe that she ditched her family for claims that they are in Scotland to reclaim the land that was stolen from their ancestors by Queen Elizabeth. But girl, tell him to call you after the land has been reclaimed. Tell him to build some hotels on it first so you can have somewhere to sleep. You can't be following no man that got you sleeping in a tent in the forest. Look at this man. This is somebody you really want to follow to another country? If this was my friend and she called me talking about, "I found the new Messiah and we're reclaiming our lost land in Scotland," I'd be like, "Bitch, you taking this shit too far right now. You need something to believe in that bad? I'll make some shit up for you. Or make some shit up for yourself. Just don't go following a man who got you living in a tent and bowing down to him. Never." What do you think of this story? Why would Cora run away from Texas to worship some man in the forest and she ain't even got no bathroom? Leave a comment to let me know. I'm Tierica with the T. Follow for more.
Chat, I'm gonna let y'all handle this one because ain't no way. Homeboy Riz must be the Riz of the Riz. He got you to leave America to go to Scotland to live in the forest in a tent, and he claims to be a king. Well, he claimed to be a descendant of the Most High. Chat, comment down below, please. Tell me what y'all think.
I want y'all to let me know if she cooking or not. Let me know in the comments.
If Jesus is the Son of God, and the sun is considered a star that's in the morning sky, and Lucifer is considered a named morning star, who the fuck is who?
If you go back to Revelations in the Bible, Revelation referred Jesus Christ as the morning star as well.
God created light from the darkness on the first, only to make the sun and the moon on the fourth. And the sun was not created to shine light upon the earth in the morning sky, nor was the moon created to shine light upon the earth in the dark sky. What the fuck was the point of the moon and the fucking sun? Because we already had light, because it was created on the fucking first day. Which explains why the northern hemisphere, like Alaska, it could be nighttime, but it's still daytime, and there's no fucking moon or sun in the sky. In fact, it was said that God made the stars on the fourth day along with the moon and the sun. The stars' responsibility was to shine light upon the earth and separate the day from the night, light from dark. But why would you need to make the stars to separate the sun from the moon if the world was round? Could you not just put the sun in the northern hemisphere and the moon in the southern hemisphere? No, you could not do that, I guess, if it was not fucking... The only way that would make sense if the earth was flat and that the sun and the moon needed to be separated, that means they were together. And the sun and the moon together makes an eclipse. So if light was created from the dark on the first day, and God went 3 days without the moon and the sun, only to make the stars with light, would that be the equivalence of the second coming of light? And why is the devil, who is so evil, represented as a snake? which is the serpent, which is the symbol of wisdom, which is the depiction of the Kundalini energy, which is not depicted with one snake but two snakes, meaning there's two forms of wisdom. Wisdom is knowledge and understanding together.
She cooking.
If the serpent was bad for spreading knowledge, and Jesus was here spreading knowledge, and Satan didn't spread knowledge, who the fuck is the real devil? Especially when the sun is the masculine energy and the moon is the feminine energy. What energy are the stars?
Let me know what y'all think about that last clip, because that was the last video. We have finally come to the end. Thank you for everybody who's been watching all the way to the end with me. Appreciate it. With that being said, like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell for every time we on, you get to watch them with us. I like to leave y'all with this one. Enjoy your day. Be graceful. And stay humble. Be blessed. Protect your aura. And we out of here.